Hi, and welcome to Standardization Testing class. This is all about the positive effects this test has on students, school districts, and on students, school districts, and teachers. And on top of it, you'll get information on standardized testing in general and on just some fun facts about how this test can be such a positive aspect in a positive effect in education itself. So let's get talking about the positives for standardization testing. Standardization testing has been in the education system since the mid 1800s. It's been different kind of testing, but it has slowly gotten itself completely to being a standardization testing. It's up to date now. It is an objective test. It measures achievements and skills in knowledge and in abilities in the students. The students must pass criteria of validity and reliability and bias. The students should know the limitations in scoring. They should really understand that this is just a guide for teachers and for themselves and for school districts. They should not have pressure on this test at all. This test is being given twice a year. It helps you see how students, teachers, and school districts do during the year. This is it's just a measurement to see how kids do, how school districts do, and how teachers do. This is another way to evaluate students, teachers, and districts. It is not count against the students. This is what keeps the pressure on them. It truly does not count at all in them. That's a huge plus if students really realize this. So let's get into the positives for teachers with standardization testing. Teachers get to see where their students are in their education. They get to see it in the first test and get to see how they have grown during the year and see the results in the second test. Teachers get to see also how they do, what they need to do on one-on-one for students, what students need one-on-one and what kind of one-on-one that they will need to have. This is huge positive for teachers. They get to see improvement throughout the year. Another way to see it. Teachers also get to see their weaknesses through these tests. This helps them to grow. They get to see their growth from the first test to the second test. This helps them learn more on themselves. This helps the teachers to keep on their toes about continuing to grow in their education on themselves, because there is a chance that they can lose their job. So the positives is teachers are always teaching themselves. These tests bring out of what they need to learn for themselves to teach for these students. The positives for students. In classrooms, in general, the students are graded on a curve. For these standardization tests, these kids are graded on their individual learning. This is graded by a machine, so it's not graded by a person. So the machine has no feelings, solely graded on how this individual student does on the test. And it shows what this individual knows at that time. It helps students to grow. It helps them to see their weaknesses and to improve in their weaknesses. And it helps them to see their growth throughout the year from the first test to the second test. It helps students to study and also helps students to have study buddies. So studying in general for these tests means the kids are having the books open more. And that's a huge plus of what everyone wants, is these kids to have the books open more. It helps bond the students together, and that's a huge positive also. We want to see the kids studying together, challenging themselves. It helps the students improve in their weaknesses. It helps the parents also to see. Parents get to see results on these tests. It helps the parents get to see where their child is at in their education. They also get to see where the child is at compared to somebody in Texas. This test is throughout the whole entire country. It has the basics of everything being on these tests. So every student in this whole entire country is taking these tests and taking the basics of all these questions. So it's no surprise on tests from Texas to New York. This also helps parents get involved more with their child to help them grow in their education, help them study, help them continue to just improve in their education. This also helps to advance kids. That shows the teachers to see where these advanced kids should go and what advanced programs. That helps challenge these kids also. Teachers will challenge them, will figure out what they can be challenged in. It also shows the growth in the low scoring children. The scores mean nothing. It's the showing of the growth. So if you get a 50 on this test, then you get a 55. Well, hey, yes, it's 5 points and kids will be low about it, but you also see the growth of, hey, I did well in these subjects when I didn't do well in that subject last time. So it shows that they are learning no matter what the score comes out in. Positive for a school district. The district gets to see the weaknesses also in the teachers. It also gets it quicker to improve. Before standardization testing, the way to evaluate teachers was a lot slower and you couldn't improve them as quick. So this also helps districts to help improve their own teachers. Excuse me. Tests, we need to make sure in school districts that all the students are taking these tests because it's a good result on the school district. If you have bad results, unfortunately, the school district does get shut down. If you continue to have bad results, management will be changed. And then the next step is school district shut down, and no one wants a school district to shut down. We just want to continue to see the school district improve. So big positives about this is that the evaluations are right there and a lot faster, and problems will get solved a lot quicker. Standardization tests is a positive thing to have in school districts. This test is another way to improve everyone involved in education. Students and teachers get to see their weaknesses and work on their students and work on them. Students get to have help that they need. This test is a good way to bond with other students. This also helps schools all across the country to stay on the same curriculum. This curriculum they're looking more for what base kind of curriculum that everyone can have. So it's not confusing to say some schools are focusing more on one subject than the other, and then you move from Texas to New York and they're totally different curriculum. This test is just trying to find a base of curriculum for all students. Some fun facts about this test. This test is throughout the whole country, the whole world. China has been using this testing for a very long time and has been proved that it truly works. It has bumped Finland out of number 1, and China is now number 1 in science and reading and in math. It is showing that the longer you have this test going, the better results you have. Hence, China beating out Finland. They have had this in their education system for an extremely long time. This test helps cut down a lot of wasted time in classrooms. The teachers can do their curriculum and their lesson plans based off of what is most likely going to be on the test now, instead of just possibly things that just may not be out there, or on tests that these children will be tested on throughout their lives. So it helps that it just doesn't have that wasted time in the classroom. It helps the teachers focus on basic skills for the students. This test is, like I said before, the test is showing how they result in science and what is weaknesses in science and social studies and all that. So it's showing that, okay, the basics are this, and this is what the students all over the country need to work on. So that's what the teachers need to work on. This test is showing what everyone needs to work on. It's an evaluation test. It has proven in some states that it has improved quality of curriculum and has raised students' achievement in some school districts. This test does truly not cost much at all. So cost efficient means more money in other programs for school districts. This is a huge positive for school districts. The more money you have, you can focus yourselves on different programs to improve, which standardization testing will help you improve, and see where you need to put the money in, since this test is a low-costing kind of test. Another positive fun fact on standardization testing is the way the test is set up. It helps school access, and it does improve to their school district. This test is set up to, yes, it's all multiple choice, but it's a lot of word questions, word problems, but you still use your calculator. You still have to write a lot out to figure out the problems. It is truly making you work on your problems in different ways. Another fun fact positive about standardization test is that if it is used widespread, it's used all over the place, and it is truly there. Obviously, if everyone is using it, there's a reason for it, and it's truly proving that it is working, and it's a huge positive. Excuse me. If something would be wrong with this test, it wouldn't be here. Obviously, there's positives for this test because it is here and is being used all over the world. China has been using it for a long time, and China keeps improving in their education. Finland is using it. I mean, they got bumped down to number 2, but they're still using it, and they're still strong in it. There's huge positives all over. This test has been throughout since mid-1800s and continues to grow, and it has been continuing to show it is a very good evaluation for helping in school districts, helping teachers, helping students. There's been plenty of facts showing that teachers are completely comfortable with this test, that students enjoy having this test. It helps prep these kids to get ready for college. Yes, you're starting young, but it's good to start young. It is showing these kids and getting them ready so they're not getting into college and having no idea. It is really good to help them and continue to help them. It's a huge positive about this test. It is a great evaluation for having students just improve. Teachers keep improving, keep going and growing. It is just based on the kids' skills, on what they know. And plenty of teachers have agreed on this. Plenty of students have liked having these tests to get them prepped, to get them ready, get them up there even for the SATs and the ACTs, and then into college and all the tests that they're having. It's really not having waste of time. I really hope that everyone looks back into this and has a change of heart on this. It is truly great positives for this. It's not a scary test. It evaluates, it measures what these teachers know, what these students know, what this district has for education and for their students. and it helps show what they need to bring into the education for these students, for these teachers to teach these students. It helps everyone grow. Main thing with this test is it's evaluating. Just evaluating, not putting a grade and having this on a record. It helps colleges see another aspect of welcoming students into their schools. It really is just an evaluating kind of test. And it's a huge positive for it if you really think about it as just evaluating and not a number stamp on your record. I hope you have taken a lot of facts out of this. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini fun fact class. Thank you.